There are a lot of options out there for homeschoolers these days. The truth is that it could be really overwhelming to try to choose, even when you narrow it down to just Charlotte Mason curricula, if that's the route you decided you wanted to go down. It can still be a little overwhelming, and you get I see a lot of questions, people asking, what curriculum should I use? Which is the best one? And today I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to discuss why our family made the decision to buy a membership to the CMEC. So stay tuned. A little bit of background. My oldest child at the moment is 5 years old. He's going to be 6 in June. So we would be year 1 or Form 1B in the fall. If you want to be super orthodox about it, Charlotte Mason herself did recommend starting lessons on the child's birthday, but I think just for the sake of preparation and excitement, our family will probably start our official homeschool in the fall of 2023. I've been familiar with Ambleside Online for a few years now. I know multiple people that use it. It's definitely the most popular Charlotte Mason curriculum out there. It's been around for, I believe, like 20 years, something like that. Part of the reason it's so popular is because it's free. And also their book list is really excellent. I am still planning on taking a lot from their book list, even if we're not going to be following their schedule exactly as written. So, okay, why did we choose the CMEC? What is the CMEC? I had never heard of it until about 2 years ago. I saw another YouTuber. She had decided to use the CMEC for her daughter. She went through the whole curriculum and it looked really great. I really liked a lot of the book selections. A lot of them do overlap with Ambleside Online. A lot of them come directly from the Parents Union School programs that are original to Charlotte Mason schools. So anyway, I was enticed, but I was like, I don't want to pay $300 for this membership when Ambleside is free. So anyway, it was now kind of in my mind, and the CMEC is really active on Instagram. They kind of encourage their members to tag them in Instagram posts, and they have like special tags and stuff. Yeah, I started following some of those tags in the past couple of years, and there was just a lot of things that I thought were really interesting that they did, like chalk drawing and sand trays and all of these things that, maybe are mentioned on Ambleside's website, but aren't gone into depth about how to actually do that. And I thought that was kind of cool that they have this sort of community aspect and they actually encourage the moms to collaborate with them. It's been a while since I've looked at Facebook, but when I was looking at it more, I was in an Ambleside Online Facebook group, and it was cool. There would be a lot of people sharing resources and like sharing what they've done. But there were a few things about it that I didn't love. Whenever people would ask for substitute book recommendations, the moderators in the group, I think it was like the Ambleside Advisory, didn't allow that. So you weren't allowed to ask questions about substitutes. And then they were always kind of like trying to drive people to their website and to their actual forum to discuss things. And the forum wasn't the most user-friendly thing in the world. So yeah, the Facebook group was really active, but I didn't love that you weren't allowed to ask for substitutions. Like, let's say, our family wouldn't have wanted to read their like church history book that they recommended, but like, what do we use for a substitution? You just weren't allowed to discuss it, and I didn't love that. So it kind of felt like the CMEC, was recommending certain books, but not like, oh, you must use this and we can't talk about anything else. It was more like they were recommending this, but they knew that people probably weren't going to be following this exactly how they had laid it out, and that's fine. It was more about like equipping the mom with all the resources she needed, and then she can really tailor her homeschool to her family. And I mean, isn't that the reason people homeschool to begin with? Is because they want to have something custom. Otherwise, why not just send your kid to school? Yeah, I think that just attracted me to it. A few other things, they have video art and handicraft lessons. I thought that would be neat. I feel like my kids would like that. They had access to some resources that are not available anywhere else, like things for 4 and 5-year-olds to do for handicrafts, which I've found difficult to find some of those resources on my own. They also have what seemed like a pretty robust network to start a co-op in your area if that's something you're interested in. That seems like a good idea as well. That's the reason that I liked it better than Ambleside. And then a lot of people also ask about Alveary, like how is it different from Alveary? When I've looked at the Alveary's website, and I've seen other people discuss this too, they use a lot of newer books, which is fine. So I really like a lot of their picture book selections for geography. I may use some of those. It leans a little more on, I would say Alveary is like the most progressive leaning out of those three. Ambleside's probably in the middle. I would say the CMEC uses the most old books, and it's probably like the most traditional, which I like. Maybe you don't, but I do. The founders of the CMEC are both Catholic, which it's technically not a Catholic curriculum, but I know Celeste, every year she will recommend like specific Catholic supplements for the time period and for like catechism that will work really nicely with that. So that seems like a really nice bonus if you are Catholic. I know there's a lot of Catholics there are a lot of Catholics that use it. I know, but the person that I originally found out about it from is not Catholic. So you don't have to be Catholic, but I think it is probably more friendly for Catholics. Like there's not going to be a out and out Protestant recommendation. I know like some people have brought up Our Island Story, which I do think that they recommend just because it's such an awesome book. Yeah, Ambleside and the CMEC both recommend Our Island Story, and that has like a few chapters that may not be super Catholic friendly, but there's ways you can kind of work around it and that sort of thing. And it's nice that there's just a little more guidance in that respect. Those are probably the main reasons why. Some of my favorite creators too, and some of the people that I really enjoy following on YouTube and on Instagram, and people who really seem to know what they're doing and are very experienced, very organized, very like type A, use the CMEC. And I guess that made me want to like kind of jump on the bandwagon. One thing, we probably won't use like every single book. I know I've said in past videos I always wanted to like make my own curriculum and design it. And I probably won't use every single book that they recommend. There's a lot of books from Ambleside that I haven't actually seen the program that they've come out with this year. I don't think it comes out until April. But I don't know if we're going to be using every single suggestion. I really like a lot of the book recommendations from A Delectable Education that they just mentioned on the podcast. A lot of those books are out of print and really difficult to find, but I actually do own several of them, so I'm really excited to use those. So yeah, those are kind of the main points about why. If you have any questions, or if you use one of these and love it or didn't work out for you, let me know in the comments.